up, Terry? How you doing, man?
Good, man. How are you?
Good, good. My name's Samir. I appreciate you taking my request, man. I
Cool.
hop on every single live that you have, and thank you so much for doing this, man.
No problem. How you doing today?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I heard great things about you through Carlos Reyes. I'm part of his mentorship. Just
Great
getting
guy.
started. Yeah, absolutely, man. He's God sent, to be honest, man. Him,
Yep.
Sal, and Alex.
Love those two. Those guys are awesome.
Absolutely, man. So I've been part of their mentorship now for about, I think we're going on like 3 months. We started in December.
Perfect.
Fairly new to wholesaling. Obviously, I have giants in my corner, but hey, you know what I mean? Any advice from the greats will definitely help me. I'm standing on the shoulder of giants, so I cannot fail. But I am facing difficulties right now with, I guess I would say my marketing.
Okay.
I've closed one deal since I started here in Southern California. I think I should mention that I'm in the Southern California market. So I'm marketing in LA, OC, Inland Empire. Made $20K off my first deal, which was pretty cool. Reinvested everything in the business. Got a big old office. All we got is like 2 desks right here. Nothing much, nothing special. Me and my partner. Yeah. So this is like our setup, and we still have like 800 square feet outside. You know what I mean? But
so you're ready to rock and roll. You just need some deals
action.
coming in.
Exactly, massive action. So my thing is, I don't want to take too much of your time. I appreciate it because I know people aren't here to hear me speak. But I have cold callers right now in the Philippines, about 4. So they're running at 30 hours each, 120 hours a week. I'm not getting motivated sellers. I'm pulling niche lists from List Source, High Equity, Owner Absentee, just a standard list. I pulled some tax delinquencies as well. Spent probably right now about like $12,000, I think. Safe to say about $12,000. Nothing's promising. Doing PPC as well. I don't know if my market's a little bit competitive, but we're doing PPC. I have a budget of about $6,000, about 6,500, so it's a healthy budget. I think we've gotten about by now, I want to say like 9 to 10 leads, but just a lot of tire kickers. You know what I mean? People that their homes are on the MLS. The real estate agent isn't delivering on their promise, so now they want to sell their properties for cash. But again, they're just so fixated on getting that full retail price, it doesn't work. So I don't know what you would recommend. Right now, I'm on the fence whether or not I should can my guys in the Philippines because I'm getting like 15 leads a day, but it's all like forced. You know what I mean? My cold callers are they're just trying to fill out the web form. You know what I mean on my podium. So, what would you recommend, man?
Okay, first off, I've done the overseas code callers. I had 6 or 7 of them, and I experienced almost the same thing where they just wanted to fill out the form, give me a lead, and it wasn't really a lead. So our whole team, and they were sending 10, 15 leads a day, and same thing. So we ended up spending a lot of time just spinning our wheels trying to manage all these leads coming in, finding out that none of them were really
motivated,
really hot leads. So we actually abandoned that, and we have people in our office now cold call, and they spend an hour a day, and they'll go in our team and they'll cold call, and that has been more effective, more leads, more deals of just spending an hour a day cold calling than having that entire team spending $12,000. So our sales guys will come in and they'll run their leads and stuff like that, but they'll block off an hour, and each one of them will cold call once a day. So that's number one. The second thing is I would, with pay-per-click advertising, I would focus on 2 keywords. That's it, right? 2 keywords, and then max your budget out, and then target the specific city. Like if it's Redlands, or if you're going to do, maybe I would get out of LA itself, maybe focus on Redlands, Riverside, Orange County, those particular areas. More inlands of Orange County, but focus on 2 keywords, and then make sure that your campaign is optimized for conversions, right? So there's two things your campaigns can get. So the 2 keywords are we buy houses and we buy ugly houses, right? And you want to do a broad match on we buy houses, we buy ugly houses, but you want to have it optimized for conversions. Right? Yeah. So you want to have one campaign. It's going to be a broad match for those 2 keywords. Then you're going to have another campaign that's going to be set for phrase match and exact match for We Buy Houses, We Buy Ugly Houses in those specific areas and markets. You optimize it for conversions, then Google gets smart on what will convert on those specific keywords. So that's your setup initially. Okay. Then you have to go in every single week and you have to go into the keywords, and there's what's called the search term, right? The actual search term that someone types in. And when you're inside the search term in that keyword, you'll see what people are typing in that is that essentially is displaying your ad and what they're clicking on. So what I'll do is I'll go through and you can sort it by all the clicks, and we know that the clicks are costing you money. So what we want to do is sometimes you'll see the search term in there. It'll be completely irrelevant, right? It'll be, we buy, cars. We buy cars, right? Or instead of houses. Yeah. So you want to make those as negative keywords. And each week, if you go in there and do that and take all the irrelevant keywords, you make them negative keywords, what you're doing, and then Google is learning your conversion, what's making a conversion, then you're optimizing your campaign. What happens, your cost per lead will decline. So I recently opened up a market, and we were getting leads in this particular market using similar search terms we're talking about, these search words, doing the same thing. So we started out about $150 to $200 per lead when we first started, which wasn't viable.
That's where we're at, I believe.
Yeah, the numbers didn't work. I mean, the amount of leads we're getting in, the numbers weren't working. Although the sellers were somewhat motivated and stuff, but the numbers didn't actually work the way we wanted it to work, right? So I let Google optimize for the conversion, and then I went in there and I tightened up those negative keywords, adding all the irrelevant keywords as negative. Mm-hmm. Now we're down to between $7 and $10 a lead.
7 and 10.
7 and 10. It started out at $150, $200, and over a course of about probably 30 to 45 days, optimizing the campaign, we're down to $7 to $10 a lead.
So I'm using a service, obviously, that was recommended by my mentors, Magnus Digital, and I have a account manager who oversees everything. They charge me about 20% of my budget, I believe. That's what they collect as their fee. Okay. Do you think it would be worth me doing it on my own, or just? I would go in to see if they're doing it, and I would probably eliminate all the keywords like sell house fast. Those two keywords are the highest converting. We buy houses and we buy ugly houses, correct? Correct. Those are the highest converting, most motivated keywords that you can run on AdWords. And if you have a limited budget, then like $6,500, it's a great budget, but it's a limited budget in Southern California, just to say. I mean, you could spend $100,000 a month, $200,000 a month there if you have a huge campaign. So focus on those two. We know they work. We know there's pulling motivated sellers. Even down to just We Buy Ugly Houses. There'll be less impressions, but you will get motivated sellers that will that will come in off that. But anyway, so I recommend those two over the budget that you have, and really let it run, and then tighten down those negative keywords. They might be doing it already, but what I probably think is if you went in your campaign, you probably have 20, 30, 40 different keywords right now. So your budget's being spent all over all these keywords. And then if you look at all the negative keywords coming in, you're probably spending a lot of your money on keywords or search terms that people it's not even relevant to your business. So it's too hard to optimize 20, 30 keywords. You can't do it because you got so many different negative keywords and you end up spending it. So you start with 2, and then you get those optimized. So what I do is I start with 2, optimize 2. Now we're down to $7 and $10. Now I'll add, sell house fast or sell house without agent, right? And now I'll optimize those, but it'll be in a complete different campaign. I'll put in a couple more keywords. I'll put it in a campaign. I'll optimize that campaign. Then I'll have another campaign with a couple more keywords. And that's if I want to scale into a specific market. Then I'm going to scale by adding keywords into different campaigns. So I got one campaign running at $7 to $10. Now I got another campaign bringing in these other keywords. Now, what that's going to do is it's going to be a higher, but now I can optimize it down. Once I get those keywords at $7 to $10, then I can move on and bring more keywords on.
and then it just expands the amount of leads you're getting. But now you're optimized at a $7 to $10. You know, I mean, a cost per deal. We're spending $800 cost per deal right now.
So how many areas would you target at a time? Because I think we're pretty broad right now when it comes to the geographic areas that we're targeting. I think I'm targeting like LA, OC, and IE. I'm not so much like zip code focused or city focused. Would you limit it to 2 cities? And if so, how would you determine those 2 cities, let's just say?
Well, first off, I go to cities that are closest to you, right? And I'd probably stay out of LA. LA is going to be very difficult, you know, to be able to get. You know, I know a lot of people, and that I don't want to take away from that. I've never done it myself, but you know, I would probably go Inland Empire, and then OC. Which market's closest to you?
I'm in Orange right now, so Anaheim, OC, Tustin, Irvine, Cerritos, Fullerton. Those are like in
Riverside. Make sure
Riverside's not too far away. Yeah, obviously, 45
Riverside.
minutes.
Now remember, you can do most of it over the phone, right? 99% of our deals are all done over the phone, right? Especially if you have a motivated seller, you can get it all the way over the phone.
Yeah.
And be able to get that. Yeah, be able to get it.
My first deal, like I said, I closed in December on the 18th of December, and that was like a unicorn, and I'm like chasing rainbows ever since. It was a motivated seller, 6 minutes on the phone, contract signed, sold the property in 2 weeks, got paid in the following week. And I'm like, okay, this is the easiest thing on earth. And now it's like, you just slam into a wall because now you're just looking for that unicorn. You know what I mean? So
yeah, and honestly, that's I draw an analogy all the time. It's like digging gold, right? You're going to have a lot of dirt, right? But the goal is how much are you paying to move the dirt to get to the gold? Exactly. If you got to pay a couple $100 a lead, and it's a lot of them are dirt, then what happens is it doesn't become viable, right? Absolutely. So in Phoenix, it's like it's really tough because we're paying for Google AdWords here $400 and $500 a lead. So we really have to hone down on just a couple of the best leads, and we can pay more for them, but the motivation scale is a lot higher. Do you see what I'm saying? So instead of getting 1 in 20, we can get 1 in 3, 1 in 4 deals, but our cost per lead's higher. It's okay. It makes sense, right? So I think that's what it's going to be. So how to pick a city? You know, I would start with one, and then bring on another city. But when you target the entire city, the more narrow you go, the more expensive it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. So let me give an example. If you hit the entire state of California, it'd be cheaper than hitting Redlands in Orange County.
Yeah. Sorry.
Because it's the whole state, right? And the more restrictions on geographic area that you put on Google, the more expensive it is. So if you can hit Redlands, right, or hit it on like a county or Riverside, or hit it on a city county basis, then it's going to be a lot cheaper. Now you're going to get deals that are going to be maybe on the outskirts, but in California there is really no outskirts.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the thing. Yeah, I think because it's been like 3 weeks right now that we're like full time. I own 2 other businesses here in Orange County. It's insurance and financial services. Completely delegated that, automated it. You know what I mean? Took massive action, started this. I leased an office. You know what I mean, to get me going. So I think it's just a frustration of, hey, when I was doing it from my house, I would just make phone calls maybe an hour or 2 a day, talk to maybe 10, 15 people, and I already got a deal. Whereas right now, it's like I'm talking to 80, 90 people every single day. And I know I'm just talking to the wrong people. That's the thing. So I need to get more motivated people to talk to, which is why I'm considering just canning my entire cold call operation, maybe entertaining a few different ones, or that's more.
Yeah, the other thing too that works incredibly well, and it's very cost effective when we go into markets like that, is Ringless voicemail. And you can go very broad on Ringless voicemail, and you can send a bunch of them out, and you can kind of scan. You can have someone scan through it, or you can scan through it. But it's super cheap, and
we're doing SMS. I'm doing SMS as well. I forgot to mention that. So we're doing SMS. We send out about, I think we're at 1,500 text messages a day. So in a week, 5 days a week. And we're using a service called Roar, so it's like a drip. You can't just shoot like 10,000 at one time. It has to drip like 150 every single hour. whatever
Yep.
the case may be. So yeah, so I guess it's all a matter of just weeding through them. I know California is a little bit of a tough market, but the payday
Yep.
is definitely worth it, right?
Yeah, I have one of my students that he started out with PPC in California, similar to what we're talking about. He was in he did Orange County, kind of Riverside area, but he's doing 2 to 3 million a year just out of Southern California right now. And
all he does is PPC.
no, he does PPC. He does cold calling. He has cold callers, but in-house cold callers, and he doesn't have 15 guys. He has 2, right? And then he does texting, where he has like Text Sherpa or what's that other service called? Like similar like a Text Sherpa, and he drops niche direct mail. So
yeah, that's one thing I'm going to start next week. We're going to do a mailing campaign.
yeah, make sure it's really tight, distressed. I would try to hit the tax delinquents out of like REI Automator, PropStream, tax delinquents out of there, and send the Street View postcard. That's been the most. That's been the most effective one.
Yeah, and just I know this is very subjective, but from your experience, how many times do you have to send the mailing campaign before you can expect, let's just say, a homeowner to reply? If I send 10,000 pieces of mail, should I do 3 consecutive campaigns spaced out 3 to 4 weeks apart, or how would you approach it?
It depends. It depends on the distress level, right? So there's a distress bucket, which is tax delinquents, pre-foreclosures, stuff like that, and then there's a non-distress, which is like owner occupants and absentee owners. I would start out with distress, and with distress, you want to pull a fresh list and mail them every month. Pull a fresh list, mail them every month. Pull a fresh list, mail them every month. Because in distress, there's lots of things that change. They sell the property, they solve the problem. There's lots of things that change. If you just go to a regular owner occupant, there's not a lot that changes, right? So you can hit those guys and you hit the same list 6 times, and you'll be pulling leads and deals and stuff over those 6 times. But you'll find that the best response is in like the 5th and 6th time. Whereas the distress, you got to pull it every single month because there's so volatile and there's a lot of stuff going on with that list.
Absolutely, yeah. I think what you said puts it into a different picture. I'm not pulling distressed lists. I'm pulling, like you said, absentee owners, high equity, nothing. We just pulled a list for tax delinquencies, and we're like sprinkling it in there. So, would you suggest?
No, just when you're starting out, you only want to focus on distress, and when your budget's large enough, then you move into non-distress.
Yeah.
So you only hit all distress because now you know everyone that calls. Even if they don't tell you, but you know there's an underlying tax there's a tax, they haven't paid their property taxes, there's a foreclosure that's happening, there's maybe it's a property's vacant, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. There's something going on with that property, and there's going to be an underlying distress versus you hit an absentee owner, they might own that. I have properties, right? But I'm not selling, and I'm considered an absentee owner. So
that's the thing. It's funny because I just talked to a guy and he's like, I was like, oh, I'm calling in regards to your property in Palmdale. He's like, which one? I was like, all of them. I'll buy them all. He's like, I have 280 doors in Palmdale. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm probably not going to get a deal with this guy, but hey, let me add you to my cash buyers list. So
yeah, and with that guy, we run the people like that all the time, and said I would be talking to him and say, listen, the market's super hot right now. Wouldn't it be a smart time to divest and start getting rid of maybe 10 to 15 of those properties? And that guy might say, yeah, I think you're right. And he goes, okay, great. Which are the top 10, top 5, top 2 you'd like to get rid of? Let's focus on those and see what I can do for you.
Absolutely, yeah. And now that you mention it, there was definitely an opportunity because he told me he's moving a lot of his money out of California and investing it in Tennessee.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if he's going to do that, that means he has to liquidate.
Absolutely, yeah. No, absolutely right, yeah.
And here's the thing. In California, you can get a much higher price per property. That means you can offer a higher price for that to that seller. And be able to move it a lot quicker. I mean, think about it. If you can help this guy divest his 240-something properties, 6 properties, that could make up your next 2 years with never having to deal with lead flow ever again for the next 2 years.
I think one thing I am struggling with, and I'm hoping maybe I don't want to take too much of your time, but when it comes to running my numbers, I'm like undetermined because I don't know about repairs. Again, I'm brand new to industry. I haven't been doing it for it's been 2 months now. So I'm just doing the ARV. I find the comp. establish what the ARV is.
Yeah, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. All you look at the highest price comps in an area in a 1 mile radius. The highest price. You're looking for similar properties, highest priced, and you're looking for similar properties, lowest price. So the lowest price is the wholesale. The highest price is the ARV, the top value, and then you just want to get it under that low value. So let's say theoretically the high price is 500, the low price is 400, right?
Yeah.
So there's only a $100,000 spread. That's typically what California is. So you got to get it around 350.
Wait,
right?
How much is the spread? I'm sorry, I was taking notes. I apologize.
I'm just saying, let's say you have a top line, you pull a market, you find similar houses, they're all 2,000 square feet, built the same year, type of thing. The top line is 500, the low number is 400. Right, so there's not a major big spread there, but then if you get it below 400, if you can get it and you can find a couple houses and you look at the houses and you can tell they haven't been updated, they haven't been fixed up. You look at the top price properties, they've been fixed up, they're nice. If you get it under 400, if you can get it for 350, you can sell it for 375.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, so it makes it real easy. You just go in and pull a mile, look at the high, and I'd sort it. I'd look at I sort it by the price, and you can do it in Zillow. I use Redfin a lot, which has been great because you can sort it by high price, and you look at all the high price ones, look at all the low price ones. The low price is your wholesale, high price is your retail. Just get it under that low price.
Absolutely. Yeah, because right now it's I know there's deals to be made, like maybe there's 5, 6, 7,000, but because of the way that I'm approaching the calculations on the number, I feel like I killed the deal. I shoot myself in the foot because my calculations come with like a $20,000, $30,000 assignment fee with a 13% return for the investor, with this, with that, and obviously there's no deal. I'd rather walk away with 5,000, 6,000 on like 6, 7 deals than no deals at all. You know what I mean?
Well, the problem is this is like, let's say if I'm gonna open a burger stand, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know what my competition's selling burgers for, and they're all selling burgers for 99 cents. But I put all my margins in there, my numbers in there, and I sell burgers for like $4. I'll never sell burgers, right? Absolutely. So what happens is you're going into a market and you're saying, hey, I'm going to try to do pricing without knowing pricing of the market first. So you got to know the pricing of the market. The only way you're going to know pricing of the market is finding out what's the lowest price they're selling. Make sure you're under that, and look at the high pricing, and that's the retail value. Absolutely.
So just to recap real quick, eliminate the list that I have right now, find the high distress level list like a tax delinquency, pre-foreclosure, and then PPC, zoom in on 2 keywords, check the search term, max out my budget on those 2, target a city, not a zip code, because the more you scope, the more you zoom in on the scope, it becomes more expensive. And I could pull the list from PropStream. Is that more or less where you...
Yeah, I get them from REI Automator, which is similar to PropStream.
Okay. And is that do you have to pay per lead, or is it more?
No, it's like $97 a month, and it's the cheapest place to buy data on the marketplace. Like I used to buy from ListSource, and it was 8 cents a record. And you even can get down to as low as like 3 cents a record, but it's still super expensive.
Yeah.
Like REI Automator, PropStream, it's like $97 a month for 10,000 records, which is basically 0.00097 cents a record.
And it's REI Automator. Is it just a white label PropStream? Because I know
it's a white label PropStream. So you can go to PropStream. Yeah. The only difference about that is it has cheaper skip tracing, which is good. And it also has an offer automator that does all these calculations, just like I told you about the highs and the lows. It automatically does it for you.
And when it comes to skip tracing, because now it's like a snowball, right? The questions keep coming to me. But when it comes to skip tracing, do you just go with the most cost efficient one, or the highest match rate, the highest hit rate? Because I'm spending.
I use REI Automator because we have skip tracing in there, and inside REI Automator has multiple services that are stacked on each other. So I'll run it through the IDI, which is the first one. Then I'll run it through the other multiple services, and it'll give you the highest match rate possible with accuracy possible, and it delivers it within 15, 20 minutes.
Really? Yeah, because I just spent $3,000 on data and skip tracing, 2,600 to skip trace 20,000 records. So it's a big thorn in my side, and I don't know. Everybody's recommending their own company because nowadays everybody has their own skip tracing company.
Well, because they're all tied in with IDI. IDI is like the main. You have to sign a contract with them, guaranteed monthly volume and stuff like that. That's why they're pushing it. REI Automated PropStream use IDI, but they also have 2 or 3 other services behind it to get higher match rates. So those both work like that. So.
Awesome, man. I appreciate your time, Sean. I really do, man. Thank you for
answering
my question. Are you going to be at the next Momentum?
Depends when it is. I've been traveling all over the place. So
yeah, March 13th and the 14th.
I'll be in Nashville.
Oh, okay. Well, hopefully next time I'm in Arizona, man, I would love to, you know what I mean, have lunch with you or something, brother. I appreciate it.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah,
I'd love to.
I
appreciate it, man.
I appreciate you, dude. Have a great one. I'll keep you updated, man. I'll send you DMs from that.
Yeah, send me DM and let me know. I'd be interested.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, man. God bless you.
God bless. Take care. Bye-bye.